The Last Judgement. It will be an end with terror for all who do not believe, because they experience something what they have not possible, because it is something completely extra-legal, a process which they cannot even follow to the end, but will be the victims themselves, because they lose their lives, they are swallowed up by the earth, devoured, and for none there is a way out. Unless he still calls for me out of his heart in the last hour that I may help him. But the people who experience the end, except for the small crowd of who are raptured before their eyes, have already completely fallen prey to Satan, and there will only rarely be one among them who converts not only out of fear, but out of sudden knowledge of a mighty God who can help him. And people will have no more time to think about it, because suddenly and unexpectedly the Last Judgment will break over them. Suddenly and unexpectedly fire will come out of the earth, it will split and devour what is living on the earth. It will be an act of very short duration, but of enormous effect. It will open the earth like an insatiable abyss and will take up everything in itself, as it is announced in word and writing. And there is no salvation. It is irrevocably the end for everything that lives in, on and above the earth. For the time is over, which was set for the spiritual for its development, and much of them must continue its course of development on the new earth in new deformation. And this spiritual is grateful for the transformation, because it continues in its development, which was already made very difficult for it on the old earth by the will of man. But the spiritual embodied as man experiences a step backwards in its development, because it is dissolved again into innumerable particles, which all have to go the way again through the creations of the new earth, which are all banished again in the solid matter and begin an extremely agonizing existence again in the bound state, so that they reach one day again the stage where they are allowed to embody themselves again as soul of a human being. Before this great earthly and spiritual change you humans now stand, and the time until the end shortens from day to day. You do not know about the horrors that lie ahead of you. You are calmly approaching the day of dissolution, which nevertheless will cause so much horror in you with subsequent banishment, if you do not belong to mine, to those who believe in me, and, if they are only weak in faith, will already be called away from earth beforehand, so that they do not completely fall prey to Satan, because they would not be able to withstand could the temptations by the opponent in the last time before the end. All of you humans who have to prematurely earthly life, all of you who mourn your departed loved ones, rejoice, for they are saved from the downfall, from the ruin to which people fall who live godlessly and experience the end in this godlessness. They cannot find mercy with me, because I admonish and warn people again and again and so urgently to prepare themselves for this end without being listened to, and I cannot have an effect on them in compulsion. I must leave them their spiritual freedom, which they abuse in such a way that they strengthen the opponent's power until the end and also succumb to his power. There are still hard battles ahead with this opponent, and I therefore appeal to you humans that you stand by my side in this fight if you want to win and emerge from the fight in freedom. And I will speak until the last day, but it is completely up to all of you humans how you decide. But the end with terror comes for all who do not believe and do not acknowledge me. But the ones who are mine I will save from every misery, I will fetch them into paradise, and they will be witnesses of the downfall, because they will recognize my power and glory and shall bear witness of it to their descendants on the new earth. Amen.